In this video, I'm going to show you my 5F framework for living a very fulfilling life. Now, I'm going to go deep and use a few different analogies in this video. So if you want to actually live a life worth living that brings you a lot of purpose and fulfillment, you're going to want to stick around and watch this video because I've got some really good stuff that I haven't really shared with anybody before, but this has served me extremely well. And I love what I do. I love my life, and really optimizing for these 5Fs helps me do that. So I'm going to share all 5Fs, and I'm going to share an analogy on how to kind of conceptualize it and how you can view it and how you can actually tactically and practically implement it into your daily life so you can live a life worth living. So let's get into it. If you don't already know me, my name's Jeremy. I help online coaches make a ton of money and completely change their lives. And I love doing it. And I've worked with hundreds of people doing and helping them do the exact same thing. So it's a ton of fun. But if you want to learn more about that, check out the main video pinned to my YouTube channel, and it breaks everything down that I might be able to help you with. But let's get straight into this. So if you look at the life you want to create, your vision, right? The vision that we want for ourselves, what does that look like? Well, we're right here right now. It's kind of like we're doing a sales call for ourselves. We're right here, point A. This is our current situation, right? Current situation. We want to get to point B, which is our desired situation. But what does this consist of? Well, it consists of the 5Fs. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But before I do, I want to show you a way to kind of conceptualize each framework as well, or each pillar of the framework. So what we want to do is we want to get crystal clear on what the hell we even want with our life, right? What does a fulfilling life mean to you? It's going to be different for everybody, and that's okay. And you really want to have an honest conversation with yourself and figure out exactly what your desired situation looks like. What are your hopes, goals, dreams, desires? Like, what do you want out of this life? Because we only have one life, and it's important that we don't just waste it and drift away. Otherwise, we're going to look back with misery and regret and wish that we had a second go around. And I don't want anybody who's watching my channel to do that. I want us all to win. I want us all to eat together. I want us all to thrive and grow and excel in everything that we do. So that's why I'm sharing this with you. Now, if you look at your vision and your life, the vision you want to build for yourself, visualize it like a pyramid. So what does a pyramid consist of? Right? Obviously, we want to get to the pinnacle, the peak, the top of the pyramid, right? But guess what? The pyramid consists of thousands and thousands of individual bricks, right? These are all bricks. And guess what? Every day, we get the opportunity to choose through our thoughts, habits, beliefs, actions, whether we want to add another brick to our pyramid and fill this guy in, or take it away, right? You have the option to be destructive towards your vision every day, or constructive towards your vision every day. Destructive meaning taking bricks away from your pyramid, from your vision, pulling yourself further away from it. Constructive meaning adding to this, filling in another brick, working a little bit more each day, each and every day. You work on adding one more of these bricks to your pyramid, right? And not every day will be constructive. You might have a back step, you might lose a brick, you might choose to take one away for a day, and that's okay. Maybe you get burnt out and feel like you're not fully in alignment with what you're called to do. That's all right. But guess what? Most people fail at life and business and everything because they just give up too soon. They expect to be at the peak when they haven't built the foundation first. And that's why I'm starting down here, because you have to start with your foundation. Without your foundation, you don't have a pyramid. And guess what? The wider your foundation, the taller the pyramid. Imagine that. That's pretty cool. Eh? But nobody wants to build a wide foundation. Nobody wants to make this thing wider and wider and wider. They're just trying to skip ahead, cut corners, right? They just want to get to the top, but you can't get to the top and you won't stay there for very long if you don't have a strong foundation, because then your whole thing is just going to come crumbling down. Nobody wants to take the time to build this foundation, right? Like, yeah, you can look on the surface level. For me, it's like, oh yeah, here's Jeremy, this handsome devil. I'm just kidding. Well, not really, but that's subjective. Here's Jeremy, who scaled his brand new online coaching business, the first coaching business he's ever started, from 0 to over 200K a month in just 8 short months, right? That's the clickbaity stuff you see on the surface, but I'm telling you right now, that is not how it went down. I've been studying the stuff. I've been reading all these books behind me for 6 years now, taking online courses, trying new things, learning how to build a website or landing pages, and doing SEO, video editing, all this stuff that sucked, right? I was a sales rep for over a year, a closer. I was a head coach of another program for a year and a half, ran all their ads and worked with hundreds of coaches before I started this one. And every single day I'd show up and I'd have 10 hours of Zoom calls, whether they're sales calls or coaching calls. And I was working for somebody else, not even really making that much money, but working 6 days a week, like 10 hours a day. Every single one of those days, I was building that foundation stronger and stronger and stronger. And guess what? It sucked. I was doing 75 hard too. Did that for over 300 days. That turned a boy into a man pretty quick, right? Because every single day, 75 hard, you're required to show up and to add a brick to your pyramid. Every single day, it's constructive. You're building to your skill set. You're strengthening your mind. You're building confidence in yourself because you're stacking evidence behind you that you are actually making progress and making progress towards your goals. You're getting closer and closer. You're moving forward, right? And that's why it's so important to have daily non-negotiables that are non-negotiable, that you have to do every single day. Because guess what? Over time, these bricks stack up. Each day, like a day goes by and you have an amazing day. Crush your non-negotiables, you crush everything. You don't actually notice a big difference. But over the course of the last 6 years of me just building bricks, my pyramid's gotten pretty strong, right? But even then, like, that just depends who I compare myself to. I look ahead, I look at my vision board. I got multiple vision boards, or at least different components on the wall behind me, which I'll get into the 5 Fs very shortly. But like, compared to that, I haven't even scratched the surface, right? But over time, you're going to start filling in each one of these bricks. And they're just going to get bigger. Your pyramid's going to get bigger and bigger and stronger and harder to knock down. And it starts with today, and then tomorrow, and then the next day. And you get to choose. Do you want to be destructive, pull yourself further away from your goals and your vision? Or do you want to be constructive, pull yourself closer towards that? So now that you understand that, which is extremely important, let's get into the 5 Fs. What does a fulfilling life look like? Well, it's got to be holistic, meaning it can't just be one-sided, because then there's going to be voids that need to be filled anyways. For seasons, you can have it one-sided, but let's look at it like the 5 Fs or 5 pillars. This is how I view my life, and this has served me very well to this point. So hopefully you can learn something. But essentially, each one of these pillars has a part to play in my life that leads to my happiness and fulfillment. And they're in no particular order at all. I'm just going to kind of list them as I think about them, like it's just as they sound good in my head as I say it. Right? So pillar number 1 is fitness. Now, this is like health and fitness. So working out, nutrition, sleep, all that stuff. Everything about like your physical body, how it operates, right? So fitness is pillar 1. Finances is pillar 2, much money you got, how much money you're making, right? Is this getting better or is it getting worse? And I'll get into that in a sec too. But pillar number 2 is finances. So fitness, finances. This one's not really going to apply too much to the ladies, but just reverse it. Females, relationships, right? Those can be extremely fulfilling and rewarding if you invest time into those with the right people. So fitness, finances, females, fun. Are you doing things that are actually fun? Do you like your life? Or are you building a life you need to escape from? That's important. And this one's very often overlooked. I overlook it a lot too, especially when I'm in like a season of just like monk mode, just grinding, put my head down, getting nasty with it. I'm a bit of a sicko, so that is pretty fun to me, to be honest, sometimes. But I find I can only really do it for like 2-3 months, like going very hard every single day before I start to get burnt out. I'm like, yeah, I need to go do fucking something. And then the last one, but definitely not the least one, is faith. Your relationship with God, or whatever you want to call that, whatever that is to you. But there's a higher power, and that cannot be ignored. So everybody's got a different relationship with faith, with God, with religion. Some people call it the universe, intuition. And I'm still figuring all that out. But this journey has been very, very incredibly rewarding and fulfilling. And I still don't know a lot of the answers, and I don't know if I ever will. But that one's a very strong pillar. But let's dive into these a little bit more, right? So with each one of these pillars can have their own pyramid, right? So some pyramids are going to be a little bit stronger than others. Maybe in a season, like if you're a young man, you don't have any value when you start out in life, right? Men are built. Men are built, not born. So what makes a strong man? What makes a good man? Physically fit. You got to build muscle. You got to be strong. You got to be capable. Because a component of a capable, strong man is he must provide and protect, right? So you have to have strong physical fitness, be hard to kill, so you can protect the people that you love. And you have to take care of yourself. Don't eat shitty foods, right? I have a very, very clean, strict diet. I only eat organic, whole foods. That's pretty much it, right? I track all my macros and calories. I don't eat processed stuff, junk food, garbage. I don't do that because it's going to kill me. Makes me easier to kill. I don't want that, right? When I'm home as well, I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do anything. Sometimes, like when I was in Mexico, I drank like a bit of a fish, but that's okay because it's not about what you do 100% of the time. It's about what you do 97% of the time. 3% of the time, you go have some fun, right? Balance, whatever you want to call that. But fitness, you want to make sure that your health and fitness, you're sleeping well. You want to make sure all that's dialed in because then you can perform better. And when your cup is full because your body and your mind is taken care of, then all of these other things are going to be a lot stronger too. So that's like, fitness is the first, like the easiest one. Like literally just go to the gym like 5 days a week. Just show up. You can have a shitty workout, doesn't matter. Just do it, right? Finances. Normally, you also start out pretty broke as a young dude. And like fitness is like for protection, like physical fitness, right? You want to be capable and strong so you can protect people. Finances, this is like for provision, to be able to provide for the ones you love, right? I don't want my wife to have to work a day in her life. I want her to be able to do whatever the hell she wants every single day because she doesn't have to worry about finances, right? I don't even have a girlfriend right now, but I'm already thinking about that because I want to provide and protect. So I'm working on myself to become stronger, to protect, become a good role model for my children one day. And I want to be rich as hell. So then finances don't stress anybody out. And my wife doesn't have to worry about that, right? Because I want to do that. She can if she wants. She loves her job or whatever. Like, amazing, cool. But like, it's the necessity to have to do it when she doesn't want to. That's what I'm talking about here. And as a man, like, I want to provide that. that would bring me a lot of fulfillment. And like, that would be a very, very foundational part of like success for me. I'd feel like I've done my duty and served my purpose as a man. If I can fulfill that as well for her. Females, right? So relationships with females, or if you're a woman, relationships with men, same thing, right? I'm a dude, so that's how my brain works. And with the 5 Fs, you can be the 4 Fs and 1 M framework, but that didn't sound as cool. So take that as you will. But nonetheless, this is very important too, right? Because I think, just speaking from my own experience, like, yeah, it's fun to make a lot of money, to look great and everything like that. But at the end of the day, it's like, if I want to protect and provide, yeah, I'm doing it for myself, but it's only so fun, right? It's like, I can live a very simple life. I make like 5K a month. I can pay for my apartment and live a decent life, right? I'm a simple man when I'm home. So when I go traveling, that's when the bank account takes a hit. But I want to be able to do these things for somebody I love. So that's where this comes in, right? And I think that there's a lot of weaknesses and shortcomings that I have as a man that I simply I lack and I struggle with, that the right female can provide that for me, right? So what I can provide with this is more like the tangible, the physical stuff. A lot of the times in past relationships that I've had, from my experience, a lot of the times, like, women can provide it's more like intangible, right? It's like we're complementary opposites. So what I lack, that's her strength, like being very intuitive and nurturing and comforting. And like, I'll tell you one thing, it's like after a hard workout or like long work day and you're just exhausted and tired, and you just have someone like rub your shoulders, it's like, that is priceless. It's worth more than any of this other shit. Like, just someone to care about you. Like, that's invaluable. And that's something very, very special that a lot of people get triggered when this conversation comes up. But I'll tell you one thing, that's very, very important to me. And I really like that. So that's something that I want. It could be females or family or whatever the hell you want to call it, right? But hopefully you get the point. Relationships, building a family. And then, yeah, these two things, a lot of my motivation is for this one day, right? Fun. Huh? We all want to have fun. This is like doing fun things, like having hobbies, doing things you actually like. And for me, it's like shooting guns, climbing mountains, camping, skiing, hiking, traveling, meeting up with people, building connections in person. Like, that stuff's fun, it's a lot of fun. And it's a great way to kind of just like clear my head, do hard things and whatnot, right? Watching a good movie. I've been watching some James Bond movies this past week. Normally I don't really watch many movies, but for some reason this week I did. And it's fun. It's cool, right? They're exciting. They're engaging. And yeah, it's cool. So you want to make sure that you have some fun. Otherwise you start to feel burnt out if you're just working all day long, all week long. You're not having any fun. You're not enjoying the journey, because it's not about like achieving your goals. Like, I was so fixated on making 100K a month, and then I did it, and now I'm like, well, fuck, that was like, yeah, it was cute and fun, but like, now what? Right? I was like, okay, well, now the fun part is actually like working on the business and building it into something that I know it can be. And that's fun to me. And so is getting outside and doing fun things with fun people. Faith, right? This one's very powerful too. Now, a lot of people have different definitions for faith. I'm still figuring this one out. I just started going to church this year. Like, I grew up really Christian. Went to a Christian school, church every Sunday. And then in high school, I went to a public school, and then university kind of fucked you up there too. Cause yeah, I won't get into that right now. Maybe I'll make the video, a longer one on this another time. Let me know down below if you want something like that. But it's more so like my relationship with God. And it's with the amount of synchronicities I get every single day, it's become too obvious to me that there is a higher power. There's something outside of myself at work to help me pursue what I'm meant to pursue, to fulfill my purpose on earth and live a truly fulfilling life. And it guides me. And I feel like I no longer really make my own decisions, right? Everybody has got a different definition of this, and that's okay. So I think religion sometimes can get in the way of your faith. I think it's more important your relationship with God rather than the personified version with different religions, right? Each one is great, or I'm sure they have. I don't really know anything about any of them, to be honest with you. So I can't really talk on this too much, but I think at the end of the day, they're all kind of preaching the same thing, just through a different lens, through a different perspective. That's okay. But for me, this is just like trusting my intuition or my higher self or God, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, right? I think, and like I said, I'm still kind of grasping this as well. But when I get those downloads from above, I feel like I said, I don't really make my own decisions anymore. It's just like the answers come to me. It's like a muscle you have to train too. You have to get very good. Like, and the more you do it, the more you lean into it, do the things that don't make sense, but you feel like you need to do, the stronger you get, the stronger your faith. And now it's like, if I know I need to do something, my intuition's telling me to do it, I just lean into it and I just do it, even though I don't know what the outcome's going to be. And most of the time it's really scary and uncomfortable. And it feels like I'm stepping in the darkness, but I have that unshakable faith, that grounded faith that whatever I do, whatever happens to me or for me was meant to happen. And there's an opportunity to learn and grow from that. If it's negative or if it's positive, amazing. Right. And that has helped me in business a lot. And I always used to like suppress this. I always used to discount it and just be like, oh no, it's a load of shit, right? It's all airy fairy, woo woo, whatever. But now over the last couple of years, that's been very powerful for me, right? So hopefully, like, by sharing this, you can kind of take stock. We'll put a little heart by the females. That feels right. But hopefully you can kind of take stock, right? Rate yourself out of 10. What are you at in terms of fitness? What are you at in terms of finances? Where are you at in terms of relationships with females? Where are you at in terms of how much fun you have in your life? Where are you at in terms of like how strong your faith is? Or do you feel like you're just drifting and you're kind of lost and hopeless and don't really know what the hell you're doing, right? Take stock. Have a look. How strong, how wide of a base is each pyramid for each one of these pillars, right? Maybe like you're super jacked, but you're broke as fuck. Well, what good is that? Right? Like this one could be great, but this one's not. Well, you got to work on this now, brother, you know? And then the better you get at fitness and finances, protecting and providing, the better this is going to get too, right? And then the more evidence you stack, the easier it is to become faithful too sometimes. And then the more fun you can have as well, because you can do cool shit. Yet now you got time and freedom, location freedom, and all that kind of stuff to have more fun, right? So in seasons, these can be skewed, right? You can skew these in seasons. And what I mean by that is some seasons I don't even I don't even look at females. I don't even think about having fun. I'm just like, sicko mode gets activated. My fucked up brain is just like, all right, Jeremy, time to suffer. And I just go hard in the gym, 7 days a week, 2 hours a day, just disgustingly sick and just get nasty with it, right? Zero cheat meals. My macros are to a T. And every other waking second, I'm more thinking about how can I make more money? How can I grow my business? How can I increase my skills so I can make more money and add more value to the market? And I disregard all this stuff, right? Faith, yeah, that stays there. That's pretty constant now. Well, sometimes, I mean, when shit happens, it's easy to lose faith. But it's also a good opportunity to lean into that and have more faith and strengthen that too. So it's all a matter of perspective. But sometimes I'm a bit of a sicko. And then guess what? Do that for a couple months and I'm like, man, this sucks. I need some fun in my life, right? I need to spice things up a bit with something like this. You know, maybe meet a girl and you really like her and start having fun with her and have fun with other like guy friends as well. That's very important to have a strong circle of strong men around you, hold you accountable and call you out on your bullshit and make you stronger, because iron sharpens iron. But then it kind of like weighs out, and it's kind of just like a balancing thing or whatever the hell it's called. Like, you know, like sometimes like you want each one to be equal, right? You got all your F's here and it balances out, right? And that's cool. But then in certain seasons, when it starts to get skewed, well, maybe you start to focus on fitness and finances. And then, like I said, you kind of ignore females and fun for a little bit. And your faith stays constant. Other times it might skew the other direction, right? Like, you know what? Yeah, I'm ripped and rich, but I feel empty inside. So now you start to like focus on the other things. You shift your focus and everything towards everything else. And then it kind of balances it out. It comes back to the equilibrium. And I think that's all really life is. It's just a matter of kind of bouncing back and forth and kind of figuring out, taking stock of like, okay, where am I lacking? What bricks do I need to lay down today, tomorrow, the next day, where I can stack each one of these pillars, make it even stronger and build it stronger and stronger and stronger every single day, right? So hopefully this video served you as well, because this is how I view my life. And a lot of the times, like when you get burnt out, at least when I get burnt out, it's because like I'm not really having too much fun and just grinding, prioritizing like one or two pillars, a hell of a lot more than others. And then you kind of realize it's like kind of pointless. Like having a lot of money is pointless if you're not having fun, you have no faith. Everyone hates you, no one's attracted to you, and you're fat and ugly. Like that kind of sucks, right? Yeah, you can have a lot of money and but like you're gonna have a very one-sided life. It's not gonna be very fulfilling unless you have each one of these dialed in, right? So yeah, that's it for this video. I'm gonna wrap it up here, but let me know if you enjoy this. It's got nothing to do with like online coaching or scaling or anything like that. But nonetheless, this is very important to me, and I hope that it serves you extremely well too, to get a different perspective on things. And hopefully by kind of understanding this and acknowledging this, you can apply this framework to your life as well and build a daily success routine where you're focused on stacking each one of these bricks on your pyramids and making not only your overall pyramid of your entire life better and stronger, but also the individual mini pyramids from each one of these pillars stronger and stronger and stronger. So if you like this video, let me know down below in the comments. Just drop a comment, let me know. I love talking about this stuff, and I can record a lot more videos going a lot more in depth on any one of these pillars if you would like, or all of them. But just let me know. So aside from that, appreciate you guys. Love you a lot. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.